Hi, everybody. I'm John Leggat, President and CEO of St.Amant. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. I look forward to this opportunity twice a year to give updates on our strategic plan and where St.Amant is headed. I also look forward to your questions and comments. As we embrace a culture of mindfulness, many of our meetings are starting with a mindful moment. Today, I invite each of you to take a minute to arrive and bring your full attention to this meeting. I would like to state an intention for this meeting today, which is to bring awareness of St.Amant's success and new initiatives through a spirit of openness and transparency. We're nearing the end of year 2 of our 5-year strategic plan. I want to take a few minutes to talk about the immense amount of work that has been accomplished to date and to celebrate our success. We currently have 52 projects on the go. Interdisciplinary teams are working together to move the goals of expansion and transition, education, leadership excellence, and communication forward. To date, we have accomplished the launch of the Rapid Response Assessment Service, which involves clinical services doing assessments quickly for children who come into the care of Child and Family Services to help facilitate an appropriate home and resources rather than get stuck in an emergency placement. Not only is this service of great value to our community and the children it's supporting, this is a great example of collaboration and teamwork between agencies and a wonderful example of the skill and leadership of the clinicians involved. We started the parent support model, which supports families on the wait list for autism services. Currently, we're supporting 33 families through an initial assessment, access to workshops and training, and monthly meetings to work on goals for their child. We've heard from parents that they are extremely grateful to have some support and that they no longer feel like they're trying to manage alone. We opened the emergency foster care service, and we're providing services to one person right now. Emergency foster care is filling another specialized need that was not currently being met in our community. The goal is to have 10 beds operational by the end of 2016. We piloted the Leisure Guide and Funky Monkey, which is a social opportunity on Friday nights here in the cafeteria. Both have been very well received. This is another example of our organization finding ways to fill the gaps that have been identified by individuals we support and their families. As these activities move into general operation, they will both continue to be funded through the St.Amant Foundation. If you build it, they will come. The Spirit Cottage opened just over a year ago, and from December to the end of August, the occupancy rate was 72%. For the summer months, the occupancy rate was 93%. The cottage has been particularly well used by individuals and families from River Road Place, the Community Residential Program, and the St.Amant School. We look forward to continuing to provide a wonderful retreat for individuals we support and their families. The 1 East Living Unit is under renovation and should be ready by late November. This project is one of the priority funding initiatives of the St.Amant Foundation, and all of the financial support was raised through fundraising. The goal is to start renovating another living unit as soon as 1 East is complete. While we're talking about initiatives the Foundation is currently supporting, let's talk about the success of the Free the Spirit Festival. We had more individuals from River Road Place attend and participate than ever, thanks to a huge volunteer effort. We had more individuals from the community homes attend than ever, thanks to a huge staff effort to make attending a priority. And we raised more money than ever, $190,000. Congratulations to you all. Thank you for all of your fundraising, selling 50/50 tickets, and spreading the word about the event to your friends and family. As part of the accreditation of River Road Place, people who live here, as well as their families, were asked to fill in a survey about their general experience. The majority of comments were very positive about the staff and care in all of the living units. The suggested improvements include increasing the number of activities, private rooms, more space for personal belongings, and more one-to-one time with staff. The good news is that all of these suggestions are ones that we have already identified and are actively working on to improve. As we support fewer people in this environment, we'll achieve better staff ratios and have space for private rooms and personal belongings. The comments about staff and the care individuals receive range from exceptional and excellent to kind and compassionate. I hope that all of you are as proud as I am of these results and that it confirms that St.Amant is moving in the right direction. Mindfulness. We continue to make great progress towards embracing mindfulness in our culture at St.Amant. At the last town hall, we showed a video on a mindfulness project that highlighted a bit of Andrew's work and training and philosophy behind why we're embracing mindfulness here. Since the last town hall, we have added an introduction to mindfulness in the corporate orientation for all new staff, and we're about to roll out a 90-minute mindful support training module for all direct support staff. The goal is to stop and think about how we're actually providing care and changing our focus from task-based to person-centered. It's being aware of the individual we're working with and what their preferences are. It's wanting to pay attention and having the time to do that. 22 people have transitioned to the community to date. With every transition comes an immense amount of preparation to support the individual, their family, and their support network, as well as training and preparation for the new home. I'm very pleased that we're on track with this project. I also want to talk a bit about the domino effect of the success of the transition project. As individuals transition, we are creating space to make changes here at River Road for the individuals who will stay. The refresh of the One East living unit will be a great example of our goal for each of the living units. There is no reason that individuals living in long-term care here at River Road Place should have any less privacy and space than people living in other care facilities. This has also allowed us to start increasing the ratio of care, meaning that we've been able to increase the leisure and recreation time for adults at River Road Place from an average of 6.9 hours a week to 10 hours a week. I heard a comment recently that it feels strange when someone moves out to the community, yet there's the same number of staff on the unit. That's our goal. A clear change in the amount of time that staff can spend one-to-one with each individual. That should look like more mindful personal care, more interaction during meals, time to visit and interact, and hopefully a better quality of life for the individuals receiving care, and a better sense of job satisfaction for staff working on the units. So far, none of the individuals that have transitioned have requested to come back to River Road Place, and in fact, we are hearing positive stories from the care providers, families, and individuals themselves. However, the option to return is always available. Each and every one of you should feel incredibly proud of your contribution to this success. Some of you worked directly on a project. All of you participated through your input, feedback, and overall positivity and willingness to stay steady during a period of immense change. Your commitment to this organization and our mission and values cannot be underestimated in the success we are able to achieve. I hope you sincerely know how valuable you are to each person and family that is a part of St.Amant. Thank you. The vision for this plan could not be realized without your dedication. We've had a lot of questions about the community homes and how we support people with high care needs in a residential setting. We've also had some questions about how individuals who have moved are faring in their new homes. We've prepared a video to address these questions, and we'll play it for you now, and then I'll be back after.
Ben was living at home with us until he was 19 years old when he moved out into the community residential homes. Well, Benjamin was born with cerebral palsy. That's his main issue. He's also legally blind. He has a hole in his heart. Due to his severe medical, he's also unable to speak. He's wheelchair bound, and he can't turn himself in bed. So he needs to be turned in bed several times a night, or repositioned in beds. His medical needs also consist of being, he's tube fed now. Care was the big concern, so we had looked at different facilities, different agencies, and we found St.Amant was the one that was able to meet both the physical, medical, and the social aspect of what we were looking for. And there are nurses that come in. He's part of his bowel routine is a nurse comes in 3 times a day, or 3 times a week, I should say. And while she's here, she's also checking on other things, and so any questions that do come up. And there's also nurses on staff within St.Amant, and different therapists that are on staff here as well, so that should issues and needs come up, they can be addressed. Do you feel you're more independent, Ben? Yeah, he's more independent, and also, believe it or not, he is also more assertive. Ben's a very patient and easygoing guy, but when there's something going on that he doesn't like, he will let you know, and that's something that he wasn't always as assertive as a young man at home. So I think that's been good, but just the independence and being able to live on his own and making some of his own decisions when he can. So, in our mind, it's been a good experience. All those needs are being met here in the community, and met plus, like they know what to look for, and I don't think that there's anything that he's lacking. It's just been a good overall experience, and it's made my life a lot easier knowing that he's here as well.
And he's been with the community residential program for quite a few years now. Yeah, he's a very social guy. He likes being around people. He needs a lot of support because like he needs like transfer support. He needs help with feeding. Well, it's been a little more than a year now that he's been on a tube feed, and that's going very well. He's put on quite a bit of weight once he was getting more of that into him, and so he really does need a lot of support in terms of personal care. They're very capable, and we feel they look after him well, but they're very respectful of our role as parents, and we are his substitute decision makers, and so we feel and there's always lots of good communication going on. I mean, the odd time where he's had to go in the hospital, we're always apprised of that, and you know, we feel really good about it. And then, you know, when got to the point where it looked like he needed a little bit more support, then that's when they brought on the overnight awake staff, and so that's been really good. So, you know, he gets turned on a regular basis through the night. So it's you know, we know that the staff working there they're not medical people, but they're in place of parents or any caregivers. So I know they always you know, do the right thing for him, and if they're not sure of what to do, then they get the medical supports that they need. It's just really great that he is making his own life with the support that's provided there, and I think that's really the best thing that can come out of this. And I think as long as you keep the communication lines open, I think that like I feel 100% confident that the staff is they're looking out for his best needs and those of his roommates.
So at age 4, Cheryl went into St.Amant, and she's been there until she moved here. I thought she did very well at St.Amant, and she seemed to enjoy it. And Todd talked to me about how I felt about putting Cheryl into the community, and I said, well, I don't mind trying anything once. But we're quite happy, like when she first came in and we brought her home, she seemed to be like a different person. She was much more aware, so I thought maybe it was because she was in with a family that had normalized kids that could talk, and so maybe she learned. In fact, one day she was at home, and all of a sudden she says, "Are they back yet?" And that was our first time that we ever heard her say any words.
And we both heard it. It was really neat.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, and we're very happy with the life she has here. Teresa's a wonderful person.
I worked in a group nursing home, Deer Lodge, for 9 years. I've been working there. So, and then I like, caring because, like, from where I come from, usually our old folks, like, we don't have like nursing home and those stuff back home. So they stay home with us, grow old, we take care of them, and they die. We don't put them in stuff. So I'm kind of used to nurturing that way. Like, so when I heard about the opportunity to do this, I'm like, oh, great. Like, that will work out nice for me because, like, this is what I like doing. So it's been wonderful. Initially that was my main concern, like how would they react to having Cheryl here, especially like reading her file and saw that she have a little bit of aggression and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I don't know, like how it's going to play out. So that was my biggest fear. But she came in and she loved it. Like, they love her. Like, my little one, she comes sit in the chair by Cheryl, sit on her lap, and she has her iPad and playing music, and Cheryl just love it. When the kids are around her, running around doing stuff, that's the time you see her, like, she's laughing and excited. It's been good. It's good. It's like, yeah. She's a little bit different since she came here than from report that I got from St.Amant when she were there. So it's been very positive for her. Like, initially she never used to like people holding her or close, giving her hugs, but now she love it. She even come up to me in the kitchen when I'm doing dishes and she want a hug, and she'll take my hands and, put it around her, and then she like to, give me a kiss with her forehead. She would do that. And at first she used to like throw things, on the floor and just leave it there, but now she picks up after herself. Like, if she threw something down, she'll try to pick it up and put it, wherever it were, So there's been a lot of, and then she never used to like drinking water. But now, when she's thirsty, she goes like this, and I said, what do you want? And she does like this, and I said, okay, show me. And then she would get up, she come to the kitchen, take a cup, and then she'll point.
I feel much more comfortable that she's here with a family that, can be she's part of this family. And I consider Teresa and her family part of our family now. So it's a real nice feeling.
That's pretty good, eh? Our goal is to bring you more updates on individuals who have transitioned, so keep your eye on the internet for those updates. So what's new? St.Amant is in a perpetual state of change, and I want to go over some of the latest news. Just a reminder that the best place to find all of the latest news and updates is on our St.Amant intranet. It's like a commercial. The pathway from the main building to the Spirit Cottage is being built and should be completed within the next few weeks. The plan is to be able to use it this winter and then have asphalt poured over next spring. We're happy to announce that 2 homes for individuals with acquired brain injury have opened, and new residents will be moved in by the end of the month. I know some have already actually moved. At this point, we don't have any plans to open any other homes for individuals with acquired brain injury. However, we are open to the idea should a need arise. We recently announced changes to our autism services. We made the change in response to the request from funders to do more with the same or very little additional funding. So our goal is to stay true to the evidence-based early intervention by shifting resources from the school-age program to the preschool program. Some of these shifts are seen as a win for parents. For example, now families will be able to receive consultative services up to the age of 21. And the big announcement is that we'll run a preschool class this year to provide intensive services to children who would have started school next year without access to the program at all. We continue to work closely and collaboratively with our funders as well as MFEET and other parent advocacy groups in the hopes of one day reducing or eliminating the preschool waitlist. We hired a new director. Dana Hope is the new Director of Community Services. This is part of our strategy to manage change and expansion. It's important not to overwhelm one area with too much growth, yet we want to expand and develop new services to meet the needs of our community. The new community services portfolio includes homes in the community that support children, supported independent living services, foster care and emergency foster care, the Leisure Guide and the Funky Monkey, and community day services. The supported independent living program is poised for growth. We're also planning to support individuals in new and different ways. Emergency foster care is a brand new service, and we're in the process of recruiting and filling 10 spots in that area. Leisure Guide and Funky Monkey have gone beyond the pilot project stage, and we're moving them into our regular operations. I know the transition of day services has caused some questions. We have essentially always had two services. The first provides recreation and leisure services to adults who live here at River Road Place. We have integrated this service into the living unit teams. As we create more recreation and leisure opportunities, it makes sense to have the nurses, the resident assistants, and now the recreational instructors all working together to support each unit. This service is part of River Road Place, and the recreational staff is part of each living unit. The service that Dana Hope is responsible for is Community Day Services, which is a day program that is located here at 440 River Road for individuals who are supported in the community. These individuals are funded and receive a full day program, so roughly 7 hours of services daily, Monday through Friday. This is also an area where a need for growth was identified by the community. Currently, there are not enough day service providers, and we are looking for space to grow our program to meet that need. The staff who work in the community day services are now a part of the community services team. We have a few projects on the radar that I want to announce here today. The first is that we will identify where the new respite unit will be located within River Road Place by January of 2016. Our goal will be to be open in 2 years. As soon as we've decided where the unit will be located, we'll make a formal announcement. The second is the development of a crisis stabilization unit that will be located in the ABC Cottage area. The plan is to have construction finished in between 2 and 3 years from now. And third, we are opening a weekly clinic and community nursing services. In the new year, we will introduce one nursing EFT to follow individuals who are transitioning to the community. This nurse will ensure that residential staff are well trained and the procedures are being followed in the new home. This nurse will also work 1 day a week in a medical clinic that we will open as a pilot project here at River Road. The clinic will serve people supported by St.Amant and potentially other organizations as well. The goal is for this clinic to become permanent and to eventually integrate our clinical services. Now, how can you have a huge effect on the planning and priorities for the next year? Earlier this year, we put out a survey on respect in the workplace. Many issues were identified. Some we were already dealing with. Others are new issues that are now on our radar. So thank you to each and every one of you who took the time to provide feedback. As these issues are generally very confidential, You won't always know exactly what is happening to support a change in an area. Sometimes it can look like conflict resolution between a few people. Sometimes it's offering support to employees with training or counseling. And sometimes it's disciplinary action and a plan to move forward. I can assure you that we're supporting a number of areas within our organization to improve their work culture and shift to a respectful and inclusive environment. In addition, the executive has initiated a corporate committee that will develop a Respect in the Workplace action plan. The committee is being led by James Popel, our Director of Human Resource Services. Currently, the committee has representatives from each area of the organization, and together they are developing a plan to increase our ability to identify and address disrespect and bullying. If you have ideas and suggestions for this committee, I strongly suggest that you get in touch with your representative or directly with James. You also have another big opportunity to have your voice heard and influence change, and it's happening right now. The Employee Engagement Survey. A link has been sent to you through your St.Amant email. I need you to take the half hour to provide feedback on what we're doing well and what we can do better. This is the best opportunity for you to influence your work environment for the coming year. Last year, we initiated training programs and offered leadership opportunities, increased our staff appreciation efforts, and increased access to technology by providing iPads and cell phones for various groups of staff. So please take the opportunity to share your feedback. The Employee Engagement Survey is an opportunity to have a strong voice. If you need help finding your survey link or filling out the survey, you can get in touch with Jennifer Kalimnik or Audrey Beaudry. Last, but certainly not least, the upcoming election. I've had a number of conversations with folks here about the federal and provincial elections. Many are concerned about St.Amant and our funding if the government should change. The federal election is behind us, and the new government won't have a direct impact on St.Amant. For the provincial election coming up in April of 2016, however, we are very interested in who forms government and ensuring that all parties are fully informed about disability issues and funding. We want all parties to have all of the information they need to inform their platforms. We also want to make sure that they understand that the disability community is a vast, engaged, and important group of citizens not to be taken for granted. In order to accomplish this, Abilities Manitoba and Barrier Free Manitoba are working together on a nonpartisan campaign to, number one, ensure that all Manitobans with disabilities can participate fully in election activities and that those who are eligible to vote are able to do so. Two, we want to support Manitobans with disabilities in making informed voting decisions. Three, we want to promote priority attention for disability issues in the election, which include increased awareness of low wages, addressing wait times for services, and addressing barriers to full participation. St.Amant will actively support this campaign along with over an additional 70 agencies. We'll have lots of opportunity for each of you to be involved and show your support for the campaign that we're calling Disability Matters. More information on the campaign will be rolled out in December and early in the new year. As for the questions on whether we're in jeopardy if there is a different government elected, no. I've been working with opposition leaders for a number of months now to ensure that our services and our strategic plan is well known and supported in principle by all parties. I don't see any way that they could reduce our funding and make significant changes on how we operate. The only change we might see through an election is stronger commitment to the sector and positive promises in the areas of funding models and staff wages. So that pretty well concludes the town hall for now. We're going to take a 15-minute break. You can enjoy a cookie and a coffee or a cup of tea, and I'm committed to answering all of your questions to the best of my ability. I'm also going to get my flu shot, and so can you. Right after the town hall in the occupational health office. If you haven't already had the shot, please do so. you're protecting yourself, the individuals we support, and your family and friends.